lock the door, and turn on the lights, because these movies will give you chills to the core. This is Ryan from the Moviemaniacs. Today we'll be counting down to some of the most scariest movies of all time, along with the reason that why are they scary. Number 10. The Shining, an 80s cult classic thrilling in all the ways. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, the film follows the story of a family who heads to an isolated hotel, where a sinister presence provokes the father into violence. The movie is thrilling in all the ways. It is more of a psychotic killer movie. The reason why The Shining is scary is because of the performances of the actors, especially Jake Nicholson's performance that makes The Shining feel scary. It is a film that never lets you feel safe, and of course, the movie is not made of little scares. Kubrick's direction will leave you in scare even after you leave the movie.
To you that I have agreed to look after the Overlook Hotel until May the 1st. Does it matter to you at all?
Number 9. Paranormal Activity, a low-budget success containing some of the nerve-chilling moments. It follows the story of a couple who moves to their suburban home and soon gets disturbed by a demonic presence. Do you know that The Paranormal Activity is one of the most successful movies of all time? The film cost roughly around $11,000 and earned a sum of $193 million worldwide. Now, coming to the reason what makes it scary is that it feels so relatable, like we all lie down in a dark room on our beds, switch off the lights, and become a perfect prey for whatever lurks under the bed. Number 8. Poltergeist, a classic of the horror genre. Poltergeist takes on the story of a family whose house gets visited by ghosts. At first, the ghosts appear friendly, but sooner they realize that they are in a big trouble. It is a film of breathtaking horror that builds up suspense, both the terrors shown in the movie that came from director Steven Spielberg's own fears as a child, a fear of clown and a tree outside of his window. Now why it's scary? It's because the film starts innocently with typical childhood fears, creepy trees, creepy dolls and storms. Then it begins its scariness to crush the soul of everyone watching it. Number 7. The Amityville Horror. Based on a true story, the Amityville Horror takes on the story of a family who moves to a new house. More like the movie Shining, the demonic presence in the house turns the father into a psychotic violent killer. The classic Amityville Horror got a remake in 2005, which do live up to the legacy created by the original. Now, for the reason why it's scary, it's because it encounters on everyone's fear, like getting trapped in a closet, to the biggest fear of the night, and by biggest fear, we mean this. Number 6. The Birds. Birds don't go around attacking people, do they? But in this one, they do. The Birds is a story of a wealthy San Francisco socialite who goes to a small Northern Californian town that slowly takes a turn for the bizarre when birds of all kinds suddenly start to attack people. It's a film that stays interesting even through repeated viewings. There was an alternate ending shot for the movie, but it was never shown. The ending featured Golden Gate Bridge getting completely covered by the birds. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, that what makes the movie scary. The Birds preys on your simplest fears like open water and the idea that innocent-looking birds planning to attack you and bite off your flesh. Number 5. Alien. A timeless science fiction masterpiece and a classic tale of terror. It takes on the journey when a space merchant vessel receives an unknown transmission as a distress call that one of the crew is attacked by a mysterious creature. The claustrophobic action-oriented film contains some of the very suspenseful, tension-filled moments. It features both squalid horror elements and gore to the limits. The reason for its scariness is simple. It gives you the feeling of being stuck on a spaceship light years away from your home, And plus, the spaceship is invaded by death-dealing creature, ready to kill you. If you haven't seen this one, to go further will be spoiler-freak. Number 4. Insidious, a wildly fun and scary haunted house flick. Insidious is a story about a family who looks to prevent evil spirits from trapping their child. The movie isn't violent in a gory way, not even a single drop of blood shed in the entire film.
Oh my god. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Oh god.
Daddy, look, I'm free.
Okay. Face me, buddy, face me, come here.
But still, it manages to haunt the audience. The reason why Insidious is scary is because the film has done something many horror movies have failed to do.
Closer.
Insidious has a lot of intense moments that can make you jump and then stay long in your fears. Although the movie is not entirely made of jump scare moments, but what it has is genuine horror, and that is what makes Insidious scary. Number 3. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Because the film follows the story of a monstrous spirit of a child murderer seeks revenge by invading the dreams of teenagers. Did you know that the movie was inspired by real-life events? Director Wes Craven decided to make the film after reading a Times article about a group of teenagers who died in their sleeps after suffering from disturbing nightmares. The reason why it's scary because the bed is meant to be safe, free of everything that can kill you, but the idea of falling asleep and never waking up is too terrifying to fail. Number 2. A Quiet Place, a nerve-jangling film with a lot of intense moments. It's a movie made to make the audience an active participant in a game of tension. Directed by John Krasinski himself, A Quiet Place is a story of a post-apocalyptic world where a family is forced to live in silence while hiding from monsters with ultra-sensitive hearing. The film contains about 25 lines of voice dialogue because the sign language is used extensively. The reason why it's scary because it turns out that humans are loud, like sound of footsteps, food crunching, door creaks, and even breathing. It means that every noise that the family makes feels like a step towards death, and the special thing is that the movie is one of a kind. Before we reveal our number 1 pick, we publish content like this every week. So to watch more videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get notified for every video as soon as we upload it. And don't forget to like this one.
Do it.
Number 1. The Exorcist.
By this sign of the Holy Cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns.
Based on a true story with an unmatched brilliance. The Exorcist follows the story of a girl who's been possessed by a mysterious demonic spirit when her mother seeks the help of 2 priests to save her.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Upon its initial release, the film affected many audiences so strongly that at many theaters, paramedics were called to treat the people who fainted. As a result, The Exorcist got banned in many countries. Now, why it's scary? Well, not much like the other movies, The Exorcist is not safe, unpredictable and primeval even in its happiest moments. It is full of anxiety and simplest fears. It creates an atmosphere of tension and fear long after you leave the film. Did we miss your favorite horror movie? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and if you have any suggestions, feel free to share with us.